Hey, what's happening, guys? How many times have we looked at one of these guys, the old, T7 component tester? Test your resistors, capacitors, diodes, whatever you need. As long as it's charged. Sorry, got lights in the way there. But the problem is there's no on-off switch for this, and oftentimes I'll come to use it and it will be discharged. So I think what we're going to do today is just put a power switch on it. Probably the most simple mod or hack you could do. We're going to find out. And this video is brought to you by SolderStick, but we'll talk about them more later. I'm going to get the screws out of this thing and have a look at what's going on inside. If you're unfamiliar with these, they're really useful. They come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. They're available for less than $20. I think you can probably pick one up for about $10. And basically, they're just a microcontroller, usually an Atmega 328, something along the Arduino flavor, with some software that's causing it to send out, different signals to the pins, and based on the answers it gets back to those signals, or how the components attached to the leads react to the signals being sent out, then it can determine what the component is. So let's unplug this here. Yeah, this is an Atmega. I can't read what that says. Maybe you can. Let's try it on the... See if we can't zoom in here. See what we can see. So an Atmega 324 PAU-TH. Then you see we've got looks like a multi-tap transistor. Here's some sort of timing circuit. You can see here it says P1, P2, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20, 25. That must be how long this thing stays on. Don't imagine there's much on the top other than the display. Let's find out, huh? Yeah. No, there's an IR thing there and a button. That's it. Okay. So we're not going to put the switch on the front. It is probably going to go right there on the top. Okay, so here's the little top panel that slides in there. And here is a switch. Which we're going to measure. .52 by 3.71. Okay. I've marked the top panel with some machinist-like scratches, and then I'm going to hopefully drill through there. The hole drilling did not go according to plan so much. So, time for some files. Moving over to the diamond file now, and yeah, it's turned into a square. This was not my plan. Not what I wanted. But we'll make it work. So my next conundrum, I can fit it in there now. You can see I have it in the hole. And I'm thinking I can probably glue it in there. But I don't want to use super glue. It's too thin. And it could wick in there and glue the screw shut. So I'm going to have to see if I've got anything else I might be able to use. So what I think I'm going to do here is a trick from my old model airplane days. And that trick is baking soda and super glue. We use it for making fillets. Trying not to get it on the damn switch contacts. It's the one place I don't want it, and that's exactly where I put it. You can obviously see why I am more the theoretical type. But that right there should be enough to start. I got some super glue, which I think is from Harbor Freight. Oh, things always falling over around here. Such is the nature of things. So what we'll do is we'll use the thing there to pop a hole in our cap. Get that on there. Get that on there. Get that on there. All right, here we go. We will apply a little bit of super glue like that. I've already glued my finger to the bottle. My son will tell you that is not an uncommon occurrence here in the Learnelectronics household. In fact, I am quite certain his preference would be that I am not to use super glue. All because one time when he was little, I accidentally glued my foot to the floor. Okay, it's a very long story, but it involved drizzling the ultra thin super glue, which flows, even better than water, into the open wing panel I was trying to repair to soak in, some of the parts. And well, yeah, it was going out the bottom of the wing as fast as I was putting it in the top of the wing. At home, I tend to run around barefoot. What can I say? And yeah, I glued my foot to the floor, so I had to be rescued by my son. He gets a great kick out of it. All right. And in fact, back at the house, if you were to look carefully around the floor where I used to work, which was actually in the kitchen where I used to work on my model airplanes, you will find an outline of my foot. But the really funny part is, I yelled for Blake, and he was young at the time. I don't know, man, 7, 8, 9 probably. I yelled for him to go get me some acetone. He's like, "What's acetone?" I'm like, "Nail polish remover." He goes, "We don't paint our nails." I'm like, "Yeah, but I have it around." because it's a very useful solvent. So he rescued me with the acetone, and he does enjoy sharing that story with anybody who would like to hear it. And well, now you've heard it, haven't you? All right, now we're going to wire it up. We are going to be cutting the wire on the lithium cell battery. So anytime you're going to be messing around with lithium cell batteries, either do it outside or, you know, have a way out, or take precautions is what I'm saying. So let me just show you here. Here's the lab bench. There's a fire extinguisher. That is the door to outside, which is about 10 feet away. So I have taken precautions. I don't want my house to burn down. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tin those two pins on that switch that we're going to use. And the first thing I'm going to do is just add a little bit of Uncle Rob's flux. And the reason for that is with the super glue and, you know, the baking soda, I'm not sure what the cleanliness of those are. And if they're not clean, you know, solder is definitely not going to stick to them. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, it seems to be taking it okay. Good. So then, I guess the next question becomes, do we install it first? And then get to our soldering? Or do we solder it? I think we're going to install it first. So give me a second. I'm going to have to clean a little bit of that off of there. All right. So I think I am going to cut the positive. Yeah, there should still be room. Okay. So I'm going to cut the positive about right here. And see if I can use my patented fingernail strippers to just clean a little bit off the edge. Yes, that's good. Now I can take that and be careful not to solder over the battery. Tin that. All right. Let's tin the iron here. Grab a hold of one of these guys and see if I can't get it in the position I want. There's one. This should be the other one. Now I can get that heat shrink on there. I can learn to speak. Maybe a bit more challenging to get around that curve like that. Let's see. And you can see I'm using non-conductive tweezers when I mess around with this lithium stuff. It's nothing to laugh at. Even a small 3.7 volt like this could easily start a fire in your home. So you got to absolutely be vigilant. All right, I took them outside to heat shrink them. And I used a folded over piece of aluminum foil, quite a few layers, as a heat shield. And you can't feel anything there. So if I did everything right, that's what I was afraid of. I hate splicing, but I'm going to have to splice here. One moment. You may be asking yourself, what's he doing now? Well, he's taking these super cheap pair of Chinese wire clippers and trying to get all the super glue and baking soda off here because, yeah, I glued the switch shut. I mean, I made sure, or at least I thought I did, that the switch was going to be okay, and the switch was not okay. I am filing. I have been filing. I will be filing. I've already broken one file. I will probably break more. Okay, that took way freaking longer than it ever should have. But it's done. So, I'm happy. Let's get this back soldered on here. God, I'm having a day. Whew. Talk about crazy, huh? I need the bigger one for this. And since I don't need all that sticking out to solder, make it easy on myself. Whew. Okay. Hopefully that took care of the problem. I will shrink wrap or heat shrink that in a moment. I want to find out that. Oh, why aren't you wanting to go back together? Oh, you can't go back together because there's a circuit board there. Oh, great googly moogly. It is like every step of the way. I'm getting kicked right in the teeth. Yeah, I'm pretty much done playing with this for today, so. Oh, let's see, did it work? Now what happened? Power on, okay. Crap. All right. Power. Testing. Switch. I gotta figure out something about the case, but other than that, seems to work out okay. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed me struggling with this today. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Feel free to comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Big thanks to the patrons, big thanks to you for watching, and a big thanks to SolderStick for sponsoring the channel. Check out this little video right now. That's it. I'm out. Peace.
Today's video is brought to you by SolderStick. SolderStick makes quick, waterproof wire connections that last a long time and protect whatever it is you're working on. They sell different types of connectors, everything from T-tap connectors, which allow you to put a splice into the middle of a wire without having to cut the wire or remove any insulation, waterproof melt butt connector kits, spade connector kits, which if you work on cars or boats, you know how useful they will be. And the same goes for ring connectors. When you need to connect a wire to something with a nut and a bolt, this is simply the way to do it. SolderStick. Remember them for all of your wire connection needs. There's a link down below for a discount.